to stick with the basics today. You know what? You guys are both cold, aren't you?
Well, it's okay.
Yeah, you want to get up and get moving first?
Okay.
Let's just go ahead and stand. That's what I had planned anyway, but since you sat down. So we're just going to take the feet a little bit wider, and we're just going to start to bend one knee and then the other and let the hips shift side to side. So we're going to let the body start to warm up in our standing pose. And then you can let your arms swing, making a little bit of a twisting movement while you do that. And then you can also begin to swing one arm around. Just kind of finding a little bit of a rhythmic movement as we warm up the shoulders and the hips and the whole body. And then as we bend both knees, we're going to start to find a little, a bend with the toes slightly pointed out so that we don't feel too awkward through the hips. And then we're going to imagine that we have clouds up in the sky that we're going to paint the sky with. So just take your hands, move those clouds around. Imagine that the clouds have different colors and you can paint the sky in any way you'd like. You might decide you want to kind of move them over to the right side and over to the left side. And then maybe you even start to gather those clouds and then try to bring them to the ground. So we're just gathering an armful of clouds and then bending. So we're doing just a tiny bit of squatting movement, nothing big. And then opposite direction, we're trying to sweep the clouds away. Move them out of the sky. Good. All right, and then letting the arms relax. We'll turn the toes forward. Inhaling, reaching the arms forward, and then exhale with a big sigh. We're going to lean forward, reach the arms back in a ha sound. So we're going to inhale, reach up, and exhale, ha, swing it back. So go at your own pace. If you go faster, you'll warm up quicker, or you can take it slow. But just make it a big ha. Ha. Good. We'll take 3 more. And then when you're done, just come back to your standing pose. Notice, did that warm things up a little bit? Yeah, it really feels good to get the shoulders and the knees moving a little bit. Roll the shoulders up and back and down. Yeah, we might as well stay standing for a bit, so we'll keep it going. Good. All right, now with the feet about hip width apart, we're going to find our mountain pose. So we just want to feel the length of our spine. The knees can stay soft. They don't need to lock back. We want a little softness to the knees. Tailbone lengthens down. And the shoulders are over the hips. Ears over shoulders. So we're just finding our posture here. Now notice that if you turn your palms forward, you'll feel the front of your chest broaden a little bit and the shoulders draw back. So the palms can face your thighs, or you can turn your palms forward as the shoulders draw back. Good. And then bring your hands together in front of your heart. Close your eyes for a moment and just check in with your right and your left side of your body. Notice if you tend to lean one side or the other. And take some slower breaths. So inhaling. Slowly, maybe to the count of 3. And then exhaling to the count of 3 or 4. We'll do 2 more. Going as slow and as you can comfortably. And making the exhale just a little longer than the inhale. And then gently coming to a natural breath. We're going to open the eyes. Good. And slowly send the arms up. Yes. And then turn the palms out and release the arms down. Good. We'll do that again. Inhale, reach up. Bring the hands together and then down to the heart. Good. And then inhale, reaching up. And exhale, release the arms down. Good. Last one. Reach up. And hands to heart. Good. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, release. Good. Begin to find our side bend. Reach up with the right arm and down with your left hand towards your thigh. You're going to start to reach toward the left side of your body, pressing the right hip out gently. Finding that little side stretch. Good. And then coming back up. We'll go other side. So left arm reaches up. Right hand slides down the thigh. You decide how far to go. Good. And then come back up. You can do one more time with the right arm sitting, left arm down. Good. And then reversing. And then if you want a slightly more intense version, if you clasp your hands together and just keep the index fingers pointed up, reach up. And then take that side bend to the left while pressing the right hand out. So now our core is working. We're not using our hands to control things. And then back. And then over to the left. Sorry, right side. Good. And then back to center. Good. Release the arms down. Good. Let the neck get a little bit of movement as you take your nose and circle your head around. And then reverse the direction. Good. Bringing the head back to neutral. Bend the knees and bring your hands to your thighs. You're going to lean forward a little bit and then circle the knees around. So we really kind of want to get the ankles warmed up. So knees both go in the same direction. So we want to get the ankles and the calves warmed up. And then reverse the direction of that. Good. And then slowly coming back up. Nice job. We'll start to come up onto the balls of the feet. And then bring the heels down. This can be a little wobbly through the ankles. Then lift your toes, look down at your toes, see if you can spread your toes. And then toes down, lifting the heels. If you squeeze your thighs together, it'll help you be a little less wobbly. Good, and then bring the heels down, lift the toes, spread the toes while you look. Good, we'll do that one more time. This time, press into your big toe. See if you can reach up at the same time. Whoa, I'm not sure I can do it. Good, and then bring the heels down, look at the toes, lift your toes. So just giving some love to the feet. Go ahead and bring the soles of the feet down. Nice job. So we'll begin some modified sun salutations. If you know it's very difficult for you to reach the ground, what you're going to do is put a good bend in your knee when we do forward fold and optional blocks, right? Okay. Now, if you don't have blocks, it's okay. I brought the chair just because I want people to know that they could use a chair if they need to, and I'll probably demonstrate that in a bit. But what we're going to do is find our half sun salutation. And this will definitely start to warm us up. So we start in mountain pose. And with an inhale, we reach up, lifting up through your chest, looking up. And then with an exhale, we're going to bring the arms down, bend the knees, and swan dive, belly a little closer to the thighs, head hangs down. Now, whether you touch the ground or not, doesn't matter. You can bring your hands to your shins. And what we're going to do is take a moment here to bend the knees and then straighten them so that we can feel the hamstrings. And then bend one knee while the other heel presses down. and then switch. This is our first real forward fold, so we're kind of checking in with the low back and the back of the legs. Good. And then bring your hands to your hips, roll the shoulders back so your spine is long, and come the rest of the way up. Good, and sweep the arms up, and hands to heart. Good, let's start to put that together. Inhale, reach up. Lifting the heart. Exhale, swan dive to forward fold. Belly pulls in, head relaxes. Maybe belly's a little closer to the thighs. Inhale, come up halfway, bringing your hands to your shins or your thighs. As you lengthen your spine, draw the crown of your head forward. Good, and then back down to forward fold. Good, inhale, reverse your swan dive, sweep the arms out and come all the way up. And again, lifting your heart here. Beautiful, and then hands to heart. Good, one more time, inhale, we're gonna do one breath, one movement. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive. Little tiny back end at the top and hands to heart. Good. Pause here for a moment and just notice how the movement's starting to fill in your body. Then releasing the hands, we'll take a little swinging motion, right and left, allowing ourselves to just kind of release any tension in the spine. And come back through center. All right, so we're going to add a little bit to that movement. And what I want to see is, how do your hips feel today? So before we do the sun salutation part, what I want you to do is bend your knees and slide your hands down, and then just see if you need to keep your hands on your shins, or can you reach the ground with your fingertips? How do you feel with that? All right, good. So what we want to do is plant the fingertips or the palms down and step the right foot back, so that we're coming in kind of to a lunge, just the right foot. Just the right foot. So you're getting a lunge there, right? And then step the right foot forward, and then the left foot back. So the right knee is bent, the left leg is reaching back. So we're going to feel the hips working a little bit here. Good. Now step the left foot forward again, and then slowly come on up. It's just to kind of wake up our hips. Nice job. All right. So now let's add the sun salutation to that movement. Okay. This is where, if you had blocks, if you have books, if you have a chair, you can use this if it gets to be too much, right? And I'll demonstrate that. So we're going to inhale, reach up. Exhale, swan dive, forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway, find your halfway up position. Shoulder blades are down and back. Exhale, back down to forward fold. Hands on the ground or on your chair, right leg steps back, left knee bends. Draw the belly in. Notice the difference from one hip to the other. Good. And then if we can, we're going to straighten the left leg into a bit of a hamstring stretch, and then bend the left knee. Good. Step the right foot forward, back down to forward fold. Good. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, forward fold. Hands to the ground, your blocks or your chair, left foot steps back. Right knee bends, coming into a lunge from here. Feel the thighs draw towards each other. Stay strong through there. You can stay there, or then begin to straighten the right knee. And then bend that right knee. Good, one more, straighten. And bend. Good, from that lunge, left foot steps forward. Forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway, lengthen your spine. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, reverse swan dive, sweeping the arms up, lifting up through the chest, maybe looking up at your hands, and hands to heart. Good. Beautiful. Releasing the hands. Once more, doing a little swinging side to side. All right, it's a good time for a water break. If you have water, you're welcome to stop here and grab some. And it's a good time to check in. How's everything feeling so far? Yeah, you warming up? Okay. I'm actually sweating now just because I've been doing this 2 classes in a row. So those movements are basically part of the sun salutation. We may get to some other parts of it too, but let's move on to other things. So the next variation would be to bend the knees and let the hips send back into a chair pose. Imagine that you're sitting on a stool, but our thighs are going to work hard to hold us up there. So the fronts of the thighs, arms reach forward. Maybe they reach up. Maybe you send your hips back just a little further. Now, a little goes a long ways in this pose, so don't feel like you have to really push through this one. Good. And then slowly coming back up, and a little back bend here, looking up, and then releasing. Good. We'll add that one more time. Reaching back into your chair. Again, it can be a small amount. It can be deeper. Belly pulls in. Bring the hands together in front of the heart. From there, we're going to take a twist to the right. Letting the left elbow dip toward the right knee. And then back to center. And a twist to the left. Right elbow dips toward the left knee. It may or may not touch. Good. And then coming back through center. We'll let go to forward fold. Inhale, come up halfway. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, sweep out, reverse swan dive all the way up. And then hands to heart. Good. Let's take the feet wide. You can keep the feet hip width, or just a little more than hip width, or as wide as you're comfortable with. I'm actually going to take off these slippers because they're starting to slide, even though they've got bricks on them. All right, now, and if you have any type of height, whether it's a chair or a block or book, you may want that right in front of you. You may not need it at all. Good. So we're going to start to find our warrior 2. So when we have this wide stance, the feet are parallel. Toes are facing forward. Notice the difference between squeezing in as if you were trying to bring your heels in a little closer, and then pressing out as if you were trying to spread the carpet or mat between your feet. One activates the outer hips, one activates the inner thighs. I generally prefer the inner parts, but you can decide what you like better. So whichever stance you take, we're going to turn the right toes to the right and then bend the right knee. Notice that your hips will try to turn to that right side. We're going to keep our hips facing forward if we can, and the right knee stays over right ankle. Anytime you need a break, you're just going to straighten and then come back to it. Good. Now, arms reach out, palms are down. Shoulders relax. Good. Arms are the same height as your shoulders. And then we're going to look to the right. Turn the right palm up, and with an inhale, lift that right arm while the left hand goes to the back of the thigh. Good. And then exhale back to warrior 2. Right elbow to right thigh. Left arm reaches overhead. Good. If you'd like, we're going to keep that going or take a break when you want to. Inhale, let's reverse our warrior. Knee stays where it is, right arm reaches up. Exhale, side angle. Right elbow to the right thigh, left arm reaches overhead. Good, last one. Take a break when you need to. The breath is the most important part. Good. And then we're going to all join back up in Warrior Two. And straightening that right leg, turn both toes, sets of toes forward, hands relax. Maybe just observing how that side feels. So if anything, you might notice that that quadricep, the top of your thigh, is what you might be feeling a little bit sore in tomorrow. Oops, Isla got lost. What happened? All right, bring your hands to your hips. Shoulders are down and back, belly drawn in. Good. Keep a nice long spine and then hinge forward through your hips, keeping a little softness in the back of the knees. You may come just halfway down. If you can see the ground, you might bring your hands either to your block or to your shins or to the ground. Just observe what you're feeling. Maybe the back of the legs, the hamstring. This is a pretty strong hamstring stretch. Begin to bend your right knee, walk your hands to the right. A little side lunge inside of the thigh. And then walk your hands back to center, straightening both legs. Bend your left knee, walk your hands over to the left side. Little hamstring or inner thigh stretch on that right side. And then coming back center. Hands come to your hips, shoulders straighten back behind you and slowly come back up. So it's just a nice big hamstring stretch. Good. If you need to heel toe your feet in to give yourself a break, we're going to just do a little march. We still have side two to go. All right, are you with us?
Yes, I'm sorry. My computer crashed. I'm so sorry.
Okay, no, it's no problem. As long as you can still see me, you're good.
I'm on my iPad now.
Okay, so we're going to go back to wide stance, toes forward. And this time left toes of the left foot turn to the left knee balance. Again, our hips will try to go that direction. We're going to try and bring our hips forward, but keep the left knee over the left ankle. It doesn't have to be perfect. We find that there's a balance there of what our hips are able to do. Squeeze the thighs in towards each other. That's going to give you a little more strength through the hips, and then arms reach out. Good. Shoulders relax. Look over your left hand. This is our Warrior Two stance. To reverse our warrior, the left palm turns up and reaches up, while the right hand goes to the thigh, lifting up through that left side. Keep the breath going, and then back to Warrior Two. To come to side angle, left elbow bends, rests on the top of the thigh, right arm reaches up. Think about one line from your fingertips to your heel here, and then back to Warrior Two. Anytime you need a break, you're just going to straighten, relax the arms, and then come back into it. We'll take two more of those, inhaling to open and expand into our peaceful warrior, and exhale to go over into our side angle. Good. We'll take one more. Maybe you can wrap your right arm behind your back. Good, and then back to our side angle. I'm sorry if you hear some noise outside. They're doing some type of construction. Good. Inhale back to Warrior Two. Good. Relax the arms, straighten the leg, turn both sets of toes forward. Yay, good. Now, we're gonna start to make our way into what we call a downward facing dog, but with the legs wide. So hands are on hips, soften your knees, we're gonna hinge forward. Belly draws in, bring your hands down to the ground, bend your knees as much as you need to. We're gonna walk the hands out in front of us and then press the hips back over the heels. So it's a lot like our regular downward facing dog, but we've got a tripod stance here. Let your arms, shoulders be really long. The back work really long, but then deeper bend in the knee if you need to. Good. Slowly walk the hands so that they are back underneath the face. We're going to keep the right hand directly underneath the face and bring the left hand to the hip. Keep your hips in the same place, but try to turn your chest to the left, finding a little bit of a twist as that left arm reaches up. And then releasing that, we'll replace the right hand with the left hand. Right hand to right hip. Start to turn your chest to the right, maybe lifting the right arm. Check in with your breath, reach the crown of your head forward. Good, and then releasing that twist. Finally bringing your hands back to your hips, lengthening the spine as you come up slowly. Whew. Heel toe the feet in. Good. And then just give yourself a full release. You can swing, you can march, you can shake, you can dance with your doggy.
Want to dance, Aria? You look very comfortable. I see your tail wagging.
Seems like, yeah, I saw the tail wagging. How do you feel? How's everybody feel?
Good. Good.
Yay. Okay.
Yeah.
It's weird because this time we're starting standing and stuff. It's a little different than we normally do. We'll practice a balance pose. Yeah, grab a drink of water, whatever you need. We're going to practice a balance pose, and then we'll start to make our way down to the ground. So if you know that you need a little support, you're welcome to get yourself near a wall or a chair. Yeah, dresser works too. Yeah. We're going to keep it simple today. We're going to find our mountain pose. And just picture that center line of your body. Feel the weight equally in each foot. Right and left, front to back. As you find a focal point, someplace that's not moving, you're going to shift your weight into your right foot. Bending your left knee. We can lift the knee in front of us. And maybe you have to keep your toe down, maybe you hold it. If you'd like to add more, we'll take that left knee out to the left. That adds a little bit of challenge. Tight rope arms might help. And then bring it back to center. And then set it down. For me, moving balance is the hardest of all. It's more difficult to move around while you're balancing than it is to hold a tree pose, for me. It could be different for you. All right, now we find your mountain pose again. Erase all of that. Don't anticipate, just stay in the moment. Good. Shift your weight into your left foot. Right knee bends. You can keep the toe down, or you can begin to lift that right leg with the knee bent. Good. If you'd like to take that right leg out to the right. That's the hardest part. Taking the arms out can help. Bring it back to center. And then bring the leg down. Beautiful. Nice job. Oh yeah, your quads are talking to you, right?
Yeah, it hurts in here when I do that.
Yeah, so this is the area that we're always working through in yoga. The quads and the flexors really help us get stronger. And these are muscles that we use when we walk, but we don't keep a lot of effort on that sometimes. All right, let's make our way down. If you want to follow me through a sun salutation, you can. Otherwise, you're going to have a seat. So we're going to start at the top of our mat, and you can change your angle of your camera down toward the mat if you want to. So I know, yeah, that's fine. I know, Linda, you may have done sun salutations and told me you did the yoga on the beach. I don't know, it depends on what they taught there. So we're just gonna play with it. At any point you just don't wanna do it, you're just gonna find a seat, okay? So we're gonna put it all together. You got it. That's all right, we'll go with what we got. All right, so mountain pose, and I'm turning mine sideways just so you can see what I'm doing. Good, inhale, reach up. Exhale, soften the knees forward, fold. Inhale, halfway up, lengthen your spine. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your knees as much as you need to place your hands on the ground and step your feet back into plank pose. So you're lowering the hips in line with your body. If you need to release some of this, you're going to bring the knees down to the ground. Good. Now bend your elbows, start to lower your chest down toward the ground. Maybe your hips touch first. Oh, that one's a tough one. Good. Inhale, lift your chest. Coming into a tiny baby cobra. Good. Or higher, depending on how your arms and your shoulders feel. And then back down. Good. From there, press up into hands and knees. Tabletop, I'm going to turn this direction. Tuck your toes, lift your hips, downward facing dog. If you can, take 3 rounds of breath here. Pressing one heel down and then the other. Alternating. And then as you're ready, bring the knees down. Take them a little wider, toes toward each other, and sink back to child's pose, letting yourself rest here. Arms either stretched out or hands underneath the forehead. Good, and slowly coming up into tabletop, hands and knees. If you're okay with the wrists and knees on the ground, we can come through cat-cow, inhaling to take the chest forward, tailbone reaches up. Belly relaxes down. Exhale, round push away from the mat as you arch your back. If this is not comfortable for hands and knees, have a seat and take the same movement with the chest drawn forward. And then arching back. Just going to do this about 3 rounds. And then coming to a neutral spine, we're just going to have a seat, just bringing the hips to one side and letting the legs swing around in front. Yay. Yeah, make any adjustments you need. Ah, good. So now we're getting to the best part, the relaxation part. Because we just did a lot of work. So now we get to do the relaxation part. But it's going to be a little bit of stretching. Just take a moment, find a comfortable seat. Maybe you want a pillow underneath you. Maybe you want to change the position of your legs. You can do that. Good. All right, so hamstring stretch. What we're going to do is extend the legs out in front. Bend the knees if you need to. And then really just lengthen up through your spine. It's more important that your spine is long than your legs are straight. And since low back issues can be a problem here, bent knees can definitely be helpful. So I just want you to notice that if you keep your spine long, how far forward can you come with your belly closer to your thighs without it being painful? So if it's painful, then you don't do that, okay? Just want you to observe it. Good. And we'll come back up. So you may not have much range of motion there. That's absolutely okay. We never want to strain that back. So we're going to break this up. We're going to bend the right knee and then open it out to the side. Here's where the strap can be helpful. So the right leg can be closer into the groin or further away. The left leg is either a little bend or straight, and the toes reach up toward the ceiling. So once you do that, you might feel a calf stretch. And then what we're going to do is take the belt across, or your band, your stretchy band, across the ball of the foot. Turn your chest so it's facing the extended leg. First, lengthen up your spine. This is plenty. If you feel plenty here, then this is enough. If you decide you want to go further, we start to bring the belly closer to the thighs, maybe walk our hands down the strap. No goal here, just observe what your body tells you is enough. And breathe. Good. And then slowly coming back up. I'm going to give you a couple of different options. Standing up the right knee, and you can let go of the strap. If you stand up the right knee, and then bring it out to the side. We did this on Tuesday, so I'll give you guys a little recap of Tuesday night. If we take that right leg out to the side, you'll probably feel something intense right through that right hip. I like to do a little open and close here, just kind of a little windshield wiper movement. Good. And then we're going to bring the right elbow, right arm inside the right leg. Hands to prayer. And then press your leg in towards your arm. This is maybe where you were sore, because this is actually a fairly strenuous position. So the idea is that eventually we can bring the leg straight forward, which I cannot do. And then eventually we may be able to wrap our arm around, but we're not working on that today. So just notice what you feel. And then let's release that. Yeah, so there's this isometric pressure, right? The leg's pressing in on our arm is pressing out on the leg. All right, so we're gonna let that go. Whew, thank goodness. And take the right leg over to the left. So the right foot might cross over. We want to push that right hip down. And then with your hands, draw the knee in towards your chest. Your left hand may wrap around your right knee.
Hello.
Good. Gently looking to the right. Right hand comes behind you.
Hi, Tim.
Look over and take your twist.
I have about 21 minutes of a Zoom yoga class I'm doing. Can I call you back, or can you call me back?
Good. Hold for a few breaths.
Okay, so I have a number, right? Thank you, Tim. Bye.
When you're ready to release this, we're just going to look forward and then unwind. Good. And this one's called Sage Twist. It's like supposed to be like a wise person, right? And then we're going to take a little counter twist over to the left. So hands come over to the left side, and we take a little bow, bending the elbows. And then come back up to center. For just a little bit of playfulness, right hand goes under right knee, left hand goes under left ankle. You can stay here or gently lift it off if it goes up. We're just going to rock it side to side. So this is where I joke that this is where people start to put their leg over their head. Some people can get close to it. I cannot. So this is it. All right, stretch out the right knee. Shake it out. How does it feel? Whew. All right. So we'll do other side. So right leg's extended, left knee bends. Open the knee out to the side. Again, you decide whether the foot's in close to the groin or down towards your calf. I like to take the flesh underneath the right tush and draw it back a little bit. You'll feel your sits bone connect to the ground a little bit more. Good, and then pointing the right toes, the toes of the right foot up. We can stay here or we can take our belt, bring it to the ball of the foot. At first, we're lifting our chest and sitting up nice and tall. And then when you're ready, if you're ready, you begin to come slightly forward, bringing the belly closer to the thighs, but don't let the shoulders collapse here. Maybe you walk your hands toward the foot. Good. That constriction noise is going to bug me today, all day long, but just breathe and we'll try to ignore it. And maybe you notice the right side is different than the left. Good. Pulling that belly in, slowly come back up. Good. And then we'll stand up the left knee. It's always okay to just stay here and hug it. I generally, that feels pretty good. But if you want to try that other variation, we're going to take the foot slightly out to the side. Bring the left arm with the elbow bent on the inside of the thigh, and then press arm into leg, leg into arm. There's some tension that happens there. Good. And so, as I said, the idea is that eventually we might be able to come forward. We may be able to wrap our arm around the leg. We may be able to do all kinds of crazy stuff that's not happening for me today. But anyway, it's just the idea that we can try different things. Yeah, it's what they call pretzel pose, right? Good. And when you're ready, we'll just let that go. You guys are doing great. Good. And then we're going to take that left leg and cross it over to the right. So you're trying to press the foot into the ground at the same time, push your left side down because we tend to lean, okay? Both hands draw the knee in toward the center, and then the right arm might wrap around that left knee. Once you start to do that, your chest will start to turn to the left, and then you can take your hands behind, your left hand behind you, and find a twist here. Taking 3 rounds of breath. Think about all the directions you're moving. You're pressing down with your feet and your legs, lifting up with your head, and twisting to the left. After the 3 rounds of breath, unwind your twist. Good. And keeping the legs right where they are, we're going to take the hands over to the right side, bend the elbows, and take a bow here. Good. Slowly come back up. Good. Uncross the left leg, stretch it out. Let's do a little windshield wiper movement. Bending the knees, taking the feet a little wider, and we'll just go side to side. Oh, this starts to feel pretty good for me. All right, so now that we've done all of that work with our hamstrings and our hips, let's come back to that first pose we did. Legs stretched out, maybe a little bent, and then sitting up tall. So this is our staff pose. And this may be a lot. It really is for me. Just to hold this pose is enough. Some people may be able to come forward, bringing their belly a little closer to their thighs. But again, you just listen to what feels right for you. And then we're just going to bring the hands to wherever they land on the legs, the shins. Good. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, go ahead and let the spine round, the head hang, toes can relax. Turn your palms up and let yourself rest here. Maybe it feels good to gently shake your head. No. And then we'll placing your palms down and roll back up. Good. Beautiful. And then let's bring the soles of the feet together and the knees open out into butterfly. This is also a really nice stretch for the hips and the lower back. And then again, you can come forward here. and slowly come back up. Finally, we're gonna make our way down to the back. So making sure that you are down towards the bottom half of your mat so that your head has room. We're just gonna lower down, use your elbows to support you. Oh, this is the best part. Just rest here. Your legs can be straight, your legs can be bent. If you have back issues, bent knees usually feels better, but you choose. Wrap your arms around you so that you're giving yourself a hug. Opposite hand to opposite shoulder, rock side to side. Feel the space right between your shoulder blades. And then switch the arm that's on top. Give yourself a hug the other way. Good. Release the arms down by the sides. You can take your palms down. We're going to walk the feet, bend the knees and walk the feet so that the heels come closer to our glutes. But we want at least a fist or two space between our feet. So this is the beginning of our bridge pose. You can stay here or you can press your low back into the ground. And then release that as you feel the back arch away. So you can do these pelvic tilts, letting the pelvis tilt back and forth. Or if you'd like a little more work, you can press into the feet and roll the hips up away from the ground. Squeezing the glutes, reaching your knees away from you, and then roll back down. So take your choice. You can rest or you can move through any of these variations a couple more times. Really think about drawing your knees forward over your toes if you're lifting into a bridge pose. Good, and then roll it back down. To release some tension in the hips, we're going to cross the right ankle over the left thigh, opening that right knee out to the side, and then lifting the leg to come in closer to the body. Thread your hands through to hold the back of that left thigh. Boy, my husband is a loud sneezer, isn't he? Stay here, rock side to side. This is one of my very favorite stretches. And when I'm having tight hips or low back issues. When you're ready, bring the left foot down, uncross the legs, windshield wiper side to side. And then as we come right back to center, knees up toward the ceiling, left ankle crosses right thigh. Good. Feel free to go to the same variation you did on the other side, but maybe it's different from one side to the other. So just observe that we have imbalances in our body. And that's really why we work both sides of the body to try and restore some balance, but still honoring the differences that we find. And when you're ready to release that, bring the foot down, uncross the legs. Good. Stretch out the legs. Notice how that makes the back arch away from the ground. And then reach your arms overhead if your shoulders are okay with that movement. Feel the right side reach just a little more as you curl or lean slightly to the left. And then feel the left side Reach just a little more left arm, left leg as you start to lean slightly to the right. Finding a little crescent or banana shape. And then as you come back to center, bring your arms back down alongside you. We'll begin to bring the knees into the chest. Hug them in, rock side to side. And then letting your knees hover over your chest, bring your arms out to the sides. Palms can be down or up with your arms directly out from your shoulders. And using the core muscles, we let the legs start to fall toward the right side. Controlling the descent until you come into whatever variation of this twist works for you. So if you need to bring the legs further away from you so that your feet rest on the ground, you can. If you would like to take your head and look the opposite direction toward the left, then you're completing the twist all the way up through the neck. Take a few breaths here, letting yourself start to sink into the pose and let gravity do more of the work. As you're ready to release the pose, the head comes back to neutral. The knees come back up through center. And then we control the descent of the legs over to the left side as you find the twist in the other side and the other direction. Again, looking to the right if that's comfortable. You can even take your left hand and place it on your right thigh. Make any adjustments you need to make this a little more restful. And then take 3 rounds of breath. To release the pose, head comes back to neutral, knees come back through center. Good. Maybe you'd like to take your hands behind your thighs and let your legs reach up toward the sky. Point and flex through the ankles. And circle the ankles around. You could play with taking the legs a little wider. Maybe letting your hands hold the legs if you'd like, either on the outside of the thighs or the outside of the shins. And then you can try bringing the soles of your feet together and the knees out in butterfly wings, holding onto your ankles if that feels good. And then finally letting the outside edges of your feet lower down to the ground while the knees open out to the sides in the same butterfly pose. So just take a few breaths here. And then finally, making your way to your favorite relaxation position. So that could be legs stretched out. It could be knees bent. You could place a bolster or a towel under your knees. And then letting your arms just rest by your side, maybe slightly away from your body. Find what feels comfortable. Adding a pillow if you need to, behind your head or anywhere you need it. We'll take a deep breath in through the nose. Exhale with a big sigh. And then just let all of that go. Feel yourself become heavy on the mat. Relaxing your jaw and your cheeks and lips. Feel your face soften. Corners of your eyes, space between your eyebrows. The neck is long. The shoulders are relaxed down. And just let yourself now drift mentally, not holding on to any thoughts, but allowing the body to relax here and the mind to be at rest. I'm going to be quiet for just a bit and let you enjoy this. Holding on to the sense of quietness and stillness in no hurry at all. Just bring your attention back to your breath. No hurry to move. But if you feel like you're ready, you can start to wiggle your fingers and your toes. Maybe move the wrist and the ankles. And rock the head side to side. Maybe taking a deeper breath to start to reawaken the body. Feel free to start to stretch out in any way that feels good. Maybe it feels good to bend the knees. Let the legs rock side to side. And then if you'd like, you can roll over to one side, pausing with your arm right beneath your head as a pillow. Finding a little fetal pose here just to give yourself some time to come out of that final relaxation pose. And then again, with no hurry at all, gently pressing yourself up to a seated position in the kindest way that you can find. We'll all join back up in our seated pose, no hurry at all. Good. Nice job. Take a deep breath in through the nose and exhale with a big sigh. Let's do that again. Inhale and a big sigh. Imagine that each time you sigh, you begin to release the tension that you have in your body, in your life. And if you need more of those, feel free. That's a cleansing breath. Good. Turning your palms up. Slowly bring your hands together in front of your hearts. Good. Ida, go ahead and make your way up to seated when you can. No hurry.
All right.
You were enjoying yourself so much, I didn't want to.
Thank you.
Good. Take a little bow. Thank yourself for doing the work today, turning your chin toward your chest. Thank your heart, thank your lungs, thank your body for doing the work. And also think about the blessings that you have. And thank your power, your higher power for those things. Good. Beautiful. Gently open the eyes. The light in me honors the light in each of you. The word for that in yoga is namaste.
Namaste.
Thanks, everybody.